Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Piera. Today I'm here with my July and August wrap-ups. I haven't done a wrap-up the last few months because I just fucking haven't. I either forgot or I didn't read enough or I was too busy and I just didn't, so I thought I would compress them all together because that's socially acceptable here on BookTube. The last few months have been fine. July was okay, which is when we finished Nevernight. So we kind of went into post-production on that, so there was like a bit of a downtime there, just kind of coming off that high. August was busy just in terms of getting back to real life as well. The first half of the month was fine, the second half of the month was less fine, but that was just kind of depression really eating my ass at the time. It's still eating my ass, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably having like a 3 out of 10 day, but you know, you just sack up and carry on, and once I finish filming I will then go lie in a ball and cry. But until then, we play ball. Books that I read in July. So I DNF'd 2 books in July. I DNF'd Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, which I was listening to on audiobook. Got about like, oh I shit you not, like over halfway through, and then I was like, I'm bored and I don't care anymore. So DNF'd that one. The next one was Sabriel. Sabriel won my Patreon poll. I have a Patreon, I'll link it down above. I tried to read Sabriel before, and I listened to it on audiobook this time, and as much as I love Tim Curry, I just couldn't get into it. And I tried to read it, again, just couldn't get into it, which is really disappointing because it sounds like something that I really enjoy. But I got about 50 pages through and I was like, nah. At that point I was feeling really mood readery, so I didn't want to push myself to read something that I didn't care about. I lied, I actually DNF'd 3 books that month. I just kind of DNF'd 3 books all at once and then found something I wanted to read. I also DNF'd Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, which again, I got like 160 pages through and then was just bored. Nothing really captured me. I've read that sort of story before, I've seen those sort of characters before, and I was just kind of like, nothing here is grabbing my attention, so I DNF'd that one as well. And then I was in the middle of my Red Rising reread in anticipation for Dark Age, so I reread Morningstar for like the 6th time, and I loved it, and I listened to it on an audiobook, and Tim Gerard Reynolds is a god. And then I listened to Iron Gold again, which again, I loved. Tim Gerard Reynolds is a god. And then I read Dark Age by Pierce Brown, which I have a review to above and below. I also have a live reading reaction vlog, so you can check that out as well, which sums up my thoughts. The first time I read it, I didn't love it. I was expecting a lot more from it and I didn't get it, and I felt a little blue-balled, and then I went back and listened to it and I reread it again and I was like, ah, there it is. So I won't say too much about that because I definitely think if you want to know more about that, you can check out my review. Also, that's just me pushing like, go check out my other videos, get me that AdSense. I'm just kidding, I don't get AdSense enough. And then I read The Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare and various other authors. This one I had read all of the stories as they had come out throughout the months on my e-reader, and then when the final book came out I just wanted to read those 2 stories that we didn't get in the book, so I read like the Kit and Ty books. I love Kit and Ty, I would die for them. Like, you know how I feel about Shadowhunters and all that? I still love Kit and Ty, so I'm keen for their series, which comes out in like fucking 2028 or something. I'll probably be dead by then. And then in August I read Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which I also have a review to. I've been very good with my reading reviews though, so I will say that to myself. Obviously this is not my normal reading. I don't usually read romance novels, but I did and I loved it and I thought it was super cute and super fluffy, and it's exactly kind of what I needed to just get me out of whatever the fuck slump I was going through. So again, I have a review to that one. I also read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which I have filmed a review to, which won't be up until the book comes out, but I really enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into it, but then once I was into it I was like, holy shit, and by the end of it I was like, I need book 2 now. I know there was a lot of controversy going around Ninth House at the moment, so if you are interested in reading that, I would highly recommend checking out the trigger and content warnings for that one because it does get a bit touchy with some subjects. So definitely do that. I will mention it more in my review if you're happy to wait for that. But otherwise that one comes out in October. I also read The Falconer by Elizabeth May, which was our name of the book of the month. I didn't love it. I was enjoying it when I started. I wasn't expecting too much, and then I kind of just got bored. But I finished it, which was the main thing. A live show coming up in the next 2 days after this video goes out, so definitely check it out. I will leave a link down for that below. It'll be on Kaz's channel. So if you're interested in hearing about our thoughts and opinions on The Falconer, you can go and check it out. I have heard the book 2 and book 3 are better though, so maybe. I can feel that I'm talking quickly. That's how quick my brain is processing things right now because it is not having a good day. This is what happens when you're not feeling great and you still have to get things done and you have to work through them and you're just going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I feel like I'm disassociating right now and I'm not actually in my body. Anyway, let me know if you can tell. Don't, because that'll hurt my feelings. Then I read Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, which is somewhere here and I don't want to reach it, which I'd heard such good things about, and the cover was so beautiful and it started off really good. I also have a review to it, which you can find above and below, and same with The Falconer. Mentioned as like a Project Runway meets Mulan, and for the first half of the book you can definitely see it, and I really liked the first half of the book. And then it gets very YA romancy and it felt kind of like a separate book, so I liked it up until about like 150 pages in. And then I read The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kong, which I have a review to coming out in the next few days, which I fucking loved. It is the sequel to The Poppy War. The Poppy War is one of my favorite books of last year, one of my favorite books of all time. The Dragon Republic will be one of my favorite books of this year and will cement its place into my favorite books of all time. I highly recommend you wait for that review and check that one out, or just go and read the book because it's so fucking good. Breathe, Piera. I also read Middle Game by Shannon Maguire, which I was gonna film a review to, but then realized that I didn't care about it enough to film a review, but it was good. I still enjoyed it. I think Shannon Maguire is a great author. I think she's a very clever author. I love her Way with Children series, so I also enjoyed Middle Game. I listened to it on an audiobook. There were some voices in the audiobook that I didn't love too much, so that made it a little bit harder, but I still enjoyed it. I wanted to talk to you guys real quickly today about creator generation. So if you guys have been around for a while, you may have heard me talking about working closely with the guys over at Changes Studios on their new project, Creator Generation. So these guys have set up a YouTube channel and a podcast in which they talk to some of the top creators in the world and kind of delve into the behind the scenes of becoming a creator, the trials and tribulations you face as a creator, the payoffs as a creator, and just in general how to become a better creator. How many times did I say the word creator in that sentence? So these guys talk about the mechanics and the kind of behind the scenes, analytics-y, smart people stuff that you don't necessarily think about when you become a content creator or when you think about content creators. You know, when I started, I was just like, I'm gonna film a video and put it on the internet and hopefully people watch it. I did not know there was so much more behind the scenes. I wish I knew then what I know now. And if that doesn't entice you enough, there's a podcast / video there where you can listen to me talk shit for about an hour. Well, I mean, look, I promise there are some like little golden tidbits in there about being a creator, kind of where I started, where I am now, where I hope to go, as well as kind of some of the questions and things that you might want to know from a creator. With that said, I will link my episode below and above. I've been super lucky to be able to work so closely with these guys. That includes keeping them up to date with what I'm currently doing, getting their feedback about my videos, also attending workshops and speaking on panels, which makes me sound super fancy. Anyway, if you've got some spare time, I highly recommend checking it out. As I said, I will leave links below on a bunch of different platforms, so whether you're a YouTube watcher or a podcast listener, you can get across it. Anyway, go and check it out and let me know what you guys think. That was my July and August wrap up in like a 6-minute video because sad days. I'm fine. I'm okay. Like I'm doing, which is the main thing. I think the last few months of like high and excitement and being so busy have finally caught up to me because now I kind of have I want to say a bit of time off, but I don't really have a bit of time off. But I feel like it's all just catching up to me and I'm just kind of whacking my head up against a wall at the moment. There's so many things going on right now, like we're moving house in the next 2 months. I'm fucking poor and I have to pay like 60 bills and like my TAFE and everything like that. But the good news, I do have good news, and if you've lasted this long, thank you, sorry, and now you get the good news. So like I said, we're moving house, which means that I can get a puppy because I don't want to live in a house because it gives me anxiety, which is probably half of this reason, because I don't find it super secure and safe. But Jacob said if we move into this house, he will let me get a puppy. And so we're on a waiting list for the dog. Should be born in October, and if there is a male that is available, we should be able to bring him home in December. So I don't want to get like my hopes too high up because I know we've been here before where I'm like, guys, I'm getting a dog, and then I just don't get a dog because I let anxiety talk me out of it. But hopefully this time. And I'm torn between names. I kind of want to call him Vin. I don't know why. Like I know that's the Mistborn, but I don't care about Mistborn. Or I want to call him Severo, but considering how Dark Age ended, I don't know if Pierce Brown's gonna make me regret that. I'm currently reading Dark Dawn again for like the 4th time, but this time it's like the final copy so I can do a review because I didn't want to do a review like a year ago when I read the beta copy. In terms of Nevernight news, that's what I was getting at. Nevernight news. Okay, so you know how I said a September release? No, because VFX. And we knew from the beginning that Mr. Kindly was going to be the hardest part to do, and we kind of, as we were filming, we were able to add more of Mr. Kindly in, and then as we got to post, we were like, fuck, I can't believe we added so much Mr. Kindly in. So at this stage, we don't have a concrete release date. I'm gonna say November-ish, late October, just for safety, but I will keep you guys updated as you know. For those of you who donated on our Kickstarter, your perks will be going out in September still, which means you will essentially get the script for the series before you actually get to see the series, so yay. And if you were wondering about Nevernight going to TV, that is potentially in the works. I can't say too much about it because it relates to a lot of people who are not me, but I am trying and I have had good success so far. But I'll keep you guys posted as I know things. That's my first, like, if you're wondering why the Fringe is back, that's why the Fringe is back. Although it's probably gonna grow up by the time it ever happens. I don't know if you know about like the film industry, but getting something off the ground is fucking hard. So, especially when you're a nobody from Australia. But that isn't to confirm or deny that Nevernight will be going to TV. Just know that I am trying to get it to TV. Jay is on board to try and get it to TV. It's just a matter of, can we do it? Will the right people come to the table? As I said, I will let you know more as I know more. Okay, I need to film an unboxing of like 7 years of unboxes. It's not that many boxes, but fuck, I kind of just want to delete this whole video. I'm not going to delete this whole video because it would kill me to have to remake it. Sorry for all of this. I managed to get through 2 reviews as a totally normal, sane person, and then it all just hit me in the face. If you are struggling with depression or anxiety, get help. I say as someone who is not getting help, but plans to eventually one day when I can be bothered. I am fine. I don't want this to be one of those videos where people are like, booktuber Piera Ford has a mental breakdown on her August-July wrap-up video, because that's not what's happening. I'm just itchy. Jacob fake tanned me the other day. I don't know if you can tell, but I think he used like a tan that I'm allergic to, because now I am so fucking itchy in all the weirdest places. I'm rambling. I will see you next time. I will be calmer next time. Bye.